Disclaimer before we start the video. This video is a parody of a channel that I really like called Chubbyemu. So please do not take my medical stuff seriously. This is made up. Thank you very much. Now, let's watch. A game dev participated in 2 game jams in a row. This is what happened to his brain and his sleep schedule. LK is a young aspiring game dev presenting to the emergency room with a headache, bloodshot eyes, severe lack of sleep, and hypercaffeinemia. Hyper means high, caffeine means goody wake-up chemical, and emia means presence in blood. Hypercaffeinemia, high goody wake-up chemicals, presence in blood. LK told the admitting physician that he was working on 2 game jams back-to-back for 2 weeks straight. This was, of course, not a good decision for a normal sane human being to do. This means he had gotten very little sleep. This disruption to LK's normal sleep schedule led to what doctors call circadian rhythm chaos, a condition where the body's internal clock gets completely out of whack. And yes, this is totally a real medical term that I did not make up whatsoever. Sleep debt, which is the accumulation of lost sleep over time, has begun to wreak havoc on his brain's ability to focus, make decisions, and also manage stress. The admitting physician noted LK's jittery movements and glassy-eyed stare, consistent with hypercaffeinemia. While caffeine is usually metabolized in the liver by an enzyme called caffeout, the sheer volume of LK's consumption has overwhelmed this system. His blood was practically a cafe at this point. If you were to suck his blood, you would be awake for 10 hours. LK also rambled extensively about the absolute brilliance of his creations, claiming he had single-handedly revolutionized gaming. According to him, his game submission for the game jam called BYOG 2024 was a roguelike turn-based battle slime game that transcended time and space. His second submission for 1-bit game jam was apparently a monochrome masterpiece of 2D slimy platformer with unparalleled pixel art. You can find these games in the description down below. Please check them out. I made this whole video just for them. Thank you very much. I didn't mean to break out of character. Okay, back to the video. While LK's game might have been groundbreaking, his body has already begun to crumble. The doctors knew they needed to act quickly before LK succumbed to what they called creative burnout syndrome. This is a condition in which an individual experiences overwhelming mental exhaustion due to prolonged periods of intense creative work. If left untreated, it could lead to something doctors refer to as the game developer's tragedy, the inability to finish any future projects, similar to the famous case of Yandere Dev. As the medical team monitored LK's vitals, they noticed his hands were trembling uncontrollably. This wasn't just hypercaffeinemia. The tremors were a classic symptom of keyboard strain injury, a repetitive stress injury caused by marathon typing session. Responsible for spamming the Ctrl+Z undo shortcut, was particularly inflamed. The doctors knew LK's condition was dire. If they didn't act quickly, he risked permanent damage to his brain, body, and the ability to discern original game mechanics from those that already exist. A multidisciplinary team was assembled to perform what they called an emergency creative detox. The first step was addressing his hypercaffeinemia. LK had to drink 3 gallons of water to dilute the goody wake-up chemicals inside of him. His heart rate, which had been hovering at an alarming 320 beats per minute, began to stabilize. Next, they tackled his circadian chaos rhythm chaos circadian. Yes. LK was placed in a dimly lit room, away from screens, and given a heavy dose of melatonin, a sleep hormone designed to reset his biological clock. Despite his protests, he was finally sedated into a deep restorative sleep for the first time in a week. To combat nutritional deficiency syndrome, LK was placed on a strict diet of leafy greens, complex carbohydrates, and lean proteins. "I miss my instant noodles," he told the doctors. But the doctors were firm. His body needed to rebuild the reserves of magnesium, calcium, arsenic, lead, mercury, gold, and all the other important minerals, and of course, vitamins as well. Finally, the team addressed his keyboard strain injury. LK's hands were wrapped in protective braces, and he was given a stern lecture about ergonomic keyboards and the importance of stretching. After 72 hours of treatment, LK was discharged. But before he left the hospital, he was sat down for what doctors called a life debrief, to make sure he understand the errors of his ways. At first, LK was defensive. "I needed to create games now when I have the creative juices running." But then he remembered the nights spent staring at a debugger until sunrise, the half-eaten snacks, the moments of doubt when he considered scrapping his project altogether. He thought about how close he came to losing the very thing he loved most, the ability to create. From that day on, LK turned over a new leaf. He vowed to prioritize balance, take regular breaks, and sleep at the very least 3 hours a night. Shocking. He even started mentoring new game developers, sharing not just his skills, but also his hard-earned lessons about the dangers of burnout. Thus, this video. LK's story reminds us that even in the pursuit of our dream, balance is key. A healthy person is a person that is free to do all that they want to in their life. Thank you for watching. Stay happy and healthy. How did I get through that video without like just cracking? Wait, I did crack once actually. This is a parody, okay? This is a parody. This is not real. I made this all up, please. Well, the game things are real. When I'm doing the game and all of that is real. But other things, the medical, anything like that, this is just a parody. I really like Chubbyemu's videos, so I just thought, hey, why not try and recreate them? But like, I get to also talk about, game devs too. Why not, right? Yes, I'm the LK in the story, short for lazy koala. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed my video. And like, subscribe, comment down below what you think about the video, and that's basically it. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.